Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance or VITA training. This will be session 3, where we'll go over Link and Learn and the practice lab. My name is Nadia Wall. I'm the I'm the Community Impact Coordinator for the United Way, and I also oversee the VITA program. Before we begin, I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you for volunteering your time. Without you, this program would not be available. So thank you for all that you do for our community. In today's lesson, it's going to be very in-depth. We're going to go over the Link and Learn tax lessons site where you'll study for your basic or advanced certification. Then we'll look at the practice lab where you'll get the opportunity to practice entering in some returns in TaxSlayer. And we'll also look at TaxSlayer Pro. That's going into the practice section there. Um, in both the Link and Learn tax lessons and the practice lab, both of these publications here are referenced. The 4491, which is the VITA training guide. This particular publication was not published and sent to us this year. It's been a couple of years now since they've sent this out. However, if you would just Google IRS publication 4491 for 2025. That publication will be made available online when it's ready. And also the publication 4012, which is the Volunteer Resource Guide, which was published and sent to us. So this, along with the 6744, will be available to you. Just come to my office and pick those up. So we'll start by looking at the Link and Learn tax lessons. Once you click on this tab, you will be taken to a different site. It's the old VITA TCE Central site. You'll come here and you'll click on certifications path. And what I'm going to do now is show you what that looks like kind of in real time and walk you through step by step of the things that you'll be going through there. So we're just going to click here on the Link and Learn tax lessons. We'll go here to our certification path. And once again, you'll just select which certification you want, the basic or the advanced, either one. We do encourage everybody to take the advanced tax lesson, tax certification. However, if you feel more comfortable with the basic, that's fine too. Just take whichever one you prefer. And then here you're going to select student, and then you will click start your course. Up here in the Getting Started section, it's going to have the important changes that happened this tax year. It'll do a course introduction, which we've kind of already done in our previous 2 recorded sessions here. We'll move on to filing basics, filing status, exemptions, etc. So if you start here at filing basics, it'll pull up this course overlook here. You'll start off with the skills check. The skills check is just a few questions to see where you are before you even really get started. So you can choose to take those. You don't have to. It's just up to you. It'll ask you a few questions. You click on check my answers and it'll show you which ones you've got right or wrong. And we'll start here at the skills workout. I'll get this opened up a little bit here. Uh-oh. There we go. So the skills workout is going to start by letting you know which publications they're going to be working in. So for the filing basics, you're going to be able to use these resources to determine who must file a tax return, who should file a tax return, how to verify taxpayers' identity, and determine how to file the return. If you'll just click next, it's just going to continue to go through different forms of information that you need. The information that you'll need off of the 13614, the intake sheet, and then it'll give you some job aids, and then it's going to start to ask you questions. So for this one, it says that Lucy is a 36-year-old. She's single. Her gross income is $20,000. Is she required to file a tax return? So what you'll do is, if you haven't already, you'll just click on this here. It's going to take you to the 4012, and it says to look at chart A. And so we can click right directly on that from there. Make this bigger. Okay, so here it's saying who needs to file. So for Lucy, she is 36 years old and she's single. So here she's single, she's under 65, and her income is $20,000. So it says if your filing status is single, and at the end of 2025, you were under 65, then file a return if your gross income was at least $15,000. Hers is more than that. Click off that. And so the question is she required to file a tax return? And the answer would be yes. So that's that. If we go through and we might select no, it's going to tell you it's incorrect, and it'll tell you why. And so you'll just go through each of these. It's going to continue to ask you different questions. And again, it's going to give you that reference material as to where you can find the answers to those questions. The certification warm-up, again, it asks a few questions here just about a particular taxpayer, and then it also gives you, again, the reference as to where you can find the answers to that as well. For the media, audios, and videos, usually it's pretty empty. I think that there may be one here. Okay, yeah, so there's one here this year, and it talks about the ITIN number, the individual taxpayer identification number. So you can click on that video and it will talk to you about that. The tax layer tutorial and the practice lab are things that we're going to review here in just a little bit, so you don't have to click on those. And then the job aid, again, is just those reference materials that you're going to be using, or where you can find the answers to those questions for the particular topic. So again, you'll just go through these. And the good thing about these is that they're pretty short. It asks you a question, but it also gives you a guide on where to look to find the particular answer that you're looking for. Okay, and so now we're going to look at the practice lab. Um, Before I get into it live, I want to just take a few minutes to go over a couple of things. So once you click on this practice lab tab here, you're going to be asked to enter in a password. That password is Train Pro Web. As you see it, it must be entered in the exact way. Train Pro Web, all caps, no spaces. This is a password that you cannot change. It is a password that's provided to us by the IRS. So it is what it is. So you'll type the password in as you see it here, and you'll click log on or log in. Once you get to the login page, if you do not have an account already set up, you'll need to create an account. However, if you do from last year, you can use your information from last year. Just hit forgot password or forgot username. It will use the same email address that you used last year. So make sure you have that, or you might have to create a new account. Okay, so once you get into the practice lab here, It'll be broken off into sections as you see here. Sections 1 through 3, you don't really have to worry about. That's all just set up in preparation. What you're going to look at here is section 4. That's going to take you step by step on entering a return. These videos are very short. They're really guided. She's going to go from the beginning to the very, very end of entering in a tax return. And it's going to show you exactly what the tax Slayer program looks like and how you're going to use it throughout this tax season. So these videos are very, very helpful. In learning what to do, and I really do advise you look over these a couple of times. At the end of each one of these sessions here, she will ask you about 3 or 4 questions, um, just to make sure you understand what she's saying and how to find the information that you need while you're in the program. So once you go through section 4 here, and you feel like you got a handle on it and you're ready to do some practice on your own, you can come over here to the practice returns here, and we'll go through these in just a moment, but you'll be able to download taxpayer information. It's pretend, obviously. Uh, You'll be able to download their information, and you'll be able to go here to the practice area, which is a tax layer program, and you'll be able to enter that information into the practice area. So what we're going to do now is actually go back into the tax Slayer program here and look at the practice lab site. So we'll go here to the practice lab, and it's going to ask me to enter that Train Pro Web. Okay, and then it's going to ask me for my username and my password, so I'll enter that. And here we are in the Practice Lab home page. Again, we don't have to worry about sections 1 through 3 up here. So we'll come down here and we'll start in section 4. It's starting a return. What I'm going to do is play just a little bit of this first video here. There is sound with this video. However, when I try to just play this as is in our training session here, you couldn't hear her. So what I'm going to do is just kind of talk over for her. However, when you go into each of these videos themselves, you will be able to hear everything that she's saying. And again, she's just going to go step by step. So like, again, I'm going to play just a few little seconds of it. I'm not going to play the entire thing for you all, just so you all can kind of get an idea of what she's saying and what's it going to look like for you. So when you first click on the button there, the first thing that's going to pop up is for you to put your name and your email address. So you'll enter in your name and email address, and then there's a remember me button. So you'll just click remember me, so that as you progress through each of these videos, you don't have to continue to put your name and your email address. So um, so in this topic, she's going to discuss starting a tax return. And by the end of this particular topic, you'll know how to start a return, select the filing status, enter personal information, attach PDF for dependents, and add an IRS IP PIN. And there's some of these things that we may not necessarily need, such as attaching PDFs and things like that. However, it's something that's good to know. Again, these are still really, really great videos. So we'll continue on. So you'll click Start a New Tax Return. So what you'll start off doing here is entering in the taxpayer's Social Security number, or if they don't have one, you'll select their I-10 or enter in their I-10, and then it's going to ask you to enter that number again. This is to just make sure that there wasn't any transposing of numbers, or you may typed in one number and thought you typed in something else. And you're going to see here that she is going to uh, type in the wrong number, and you'll see that it'll highlight red for her. It shows her that she did make a mistake, so she'll have to go back and just double check and correct those. After she enters the number, you'll see the taxpayer profiles that are available here. Taxpayer profiles is basically going to pull up information from that taxpayer if they have it from last year, and you can select that if you'd like. It'll pull up all of his or her information from last year. You can make changes. So if they had a job last year that they don't have this year, you can take that out. It's just going to save a little bit of time. You're just going to verify that their personal information is still the same, left in the same place. However, if you don't want to do that, you can just hit the basic profile here, which is what she's going to select, and then you'll just put in all of their information from scratch. So let's continue on. You'll select one of the profiles, and then you'll select Start Return. And on this screen here, she's just talking about all of the steps that you'll go through as you progress through entering in the return. You're going to enter in their basic information. You'll enter in their federal information, health insurance information, their state information. You'll go to a summary, and then you'll go through their e-file page. If there's at any time you have to get out of the return, you want to always make sure that you're going to hit save and exit here. And then as you're working in the return, as you click continue, it will start to save things as you click continue as you're working in it. If you are idle for 17 minutes, TaxSlayer Pro Online will sign you out. It'll time you out, and anything you haven't saved will be lost. So if for some reason something happens, you always want to make sure that you hit, again, save and exit, so that you're able to have the information saved that you need. Also here, you'll start with what is your filing status. If it's not listed on the intake form, or you're just not quite sure, you can hit this button here that says Filing Status Wizard. It'll ask you a few questions that you'll need to ask the taxpayer to determine what filing status they should have. And that's what she's saying there. Okay, on this page here, it's just personal information. You're going to, and I'm sorry, I can't make this screen any bigger, but you're going to make sure that you have their first and last name spelled correctly. You're going to just, again, double check that Social Security number to make sure that it's correct, their date of birth, their occupation, and things like that. And then as you progress throughout the tax return, if you look over here on the right-hand side, you'll be able to see their adjusted gross income, their federal, and then their state returns as well. So that is just a little bit of what it's going to look like in the TaxSlayer Pro program. And again, she will take you through each of these steps. Very, very informative, very helpful on how to enter returns. Once you get through section 4 here and you feel like you have a pretty good handle on it and you want to go ahead and move into some practice returns, you can always do that at any time. You'll just click on practice return, and it's going to pull up what looks like a video. However, it's not. you'll just click on the attachments here. And it's just going to give you basic information for a pretend taxpayer. You'll have their social security numbers, their filing status, all their personal information, their dependent information. You'll move down here to their income information. She has daycare, those things like that. So you can either save this, or if you got multiple screens, you can um, open up the practice area, print it out however you want, or you could also use your testing book 6744, which we highly recommend that you do. So once you've downloaded or printed out the practice return information here, what you're going to do is go right here to the practice area. And this is going to take you right to the page that we've seen in that video there, where you're going to start a return. You'll click that, and you'll enter the taxpayer information that you've downloaded or that you've gotten out of your testing book. You'll enter that information in there. You'll click that basic profile, and you'll click start a return. And from there, you'll be able to enter in the information that you have on hand to enter the tax return. And it will let you know at the end here what you should have gotten for their return amounts and things like that. It'll show you right there. Right, so as you enter that in, if you look at yours and it's a little bit different, you can go back and see, well, how come I didn't get this particular refund amount? You may have skipped a particular step or something like that. Okay. So we've looked at the practice lab area, the practice area. And when you get into that again, it's going to look just like she's taking you through the practice steps there. Again, make sure you use your 6744 test, the practice information in that booklet. Please use that as you work through the practice area, because again, these exact questions are going to be on the test. So that way you can put this information in, get your answers, mark your answers in your book. When you get to your certification testing, you'll just click whatever answer is that you have marked down for that particular question. We've also looked at the publication 4012, which is the volunteer resource guide that you all should have access to. Again, if you need it, if you still need it, you can come to my office to pick that up along with the 6744 test booklet, and then also publication 40. I forgot the number. Well, the other publication, I don't want to go back. The other publication, I think it's 4491. It's a lot of numbers to remember. um, the training guide, that one is only available online. So I hope this was informative for you all to kind of take you through what it is that you need to do your practicing and certification testing. I don't want it to be too overwhelming, because the IRS gives you lots of manuals with lots and lots of pages, and I don't want anyone to think they have to sit and read a 350-page training guide to be able to be a volunteer. That's not what we want. We don't want to scare you all off. Um, but the videos, they're very short. Again, they're short to the point. The same thing with the Link and Learn tax lessons. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to give you exactly where you need to go in these booklets to find those answers that you need. Coming up in our final session, I'm going to show you how to log into the certification page, take your test or retest if you need to, and then submit your forms and ID to me, showing that you've passed your certification. So that'll be coming up in our final training here. Again, my name is Nadia Wall, and if you have any questions at all, please, please, please feel free to reach out to me. There's my phone number or my email. If you have anyone that is interested in being a VITA volunteer, please send them my way. If your organization or your employer is interested in me hosting a lunch and learn so that other employees can learn about being a VITA volunteer, have them contact me as well. I thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.